Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, we'll be discussing some verbal ability questions that are generally asked for IPMAT exam, that is Integrated Programming Management Aptitude Test. It is a program, 5-year program conducted for plus two pass outs for admission to 5-year integrated management programs conducted by Indian Institutes of Management. So this exam is coming up in May. So there have been demands from some students that I should tackle some IPMAT questions also. So I'm putting out this video for the benefit of those people. But it is also applicable to CAT students or people who are preparing for CAT, the beginners, the people who have just started preparation for the next year's CAT. They also will feel or they will find this particular exercise to be useful for them because it consists of some basic level questions from which you can graduate to the higher level questions that are generally asked for CAT. So if you start practicing these basic level questions that are generally asked in IPMAT, then graduate to the CAT level questions, then your understanding will be easier and your process will be much faster. So that way you can gradually update from smaller level or questions from with a lesser level of complexity to questions at a higher level of complexity. So that will be useful for the CAT candidates as well. Now, as always, I have given the link to the exercise in the video description. So I want people to attend the exercise on your own first and then come back and watch the video so that your learning becomes thorough and you are able to understand the nuances of finding out the answers. So this is something that is advisable when you attempt the exercises given by me. All right, the first is a reading comprehension passage. So the passage, as you might have seen, it is talking about the report released by IQAir. It is a Swiss firm on the air pollution problem all over the world. And as per this report, Indian cities are having a lot of problems in air pollution. And this it also says that Delhi is one of the most Delhi is the most polluted capital city, and it is also talking about other cities in India where this problem is persisting, and it is talking about the importance of clean air and the processes or the methods that we can follow to reduce the problem of air pollution in the country. So these are the important or the main points given in this particular passage. Now we will straight away go to the question. So I'll not you have to attempt the, since you have already attempted the exercise, you might be familiar with the passage. So I'll not spend too much time on the passage now. When we discuss the questions, maybe we'll come back to the passage. So first question is based on the information in the passage, which who has endorsed the right to clean air. What is endorsement? Who has supported? Endorsement means supported or reinforced the situation, that is endorsement. So who has supported the right to clean air? So what is the answer? Very clear answer is given. See the third paragraph, it says that many judicial pronouncements have upheld the right to clean air. So this particular right is available, or many courts have said that uh, the clean air is a fundamental right available to people, just like the right to life. So that is the statement. So this will clearly give us the answer. Who has supported the right to clean air? It is the courts. So no confusion there. Very easily you can find the answer. Question number 2, in the last sentence of the passage, this is the battle for our future, the writer is. So in the last sentence, the writer is saying that this is the battle for our future. Which is the battle? The battle to clean the air, or to battle to reduce the problem of air pollution in India. It is a battle that is very crucial for our future. This is what the author is saying. Now, what is the tone of the author? So or what is the mood of the author? That is the question. So option is projecting a bleak future for India. Or in other words, it says that the mood of the author is pessimistic, as if we are not going to be successful in getting clean air. That is the, is it stated or is it implied? The passage is not saying that it is, or the author is not of the opinion that this is going to be a battle that we are going to lose. No, it's not stated in the passage. The passage says that the governments and all people involved should uh, get themselves involved in fighting this problem, because it is a very serious problem that can affect our survival as well as our future. This is the meaning. So it is not projecting a bleak future for India. This is wrong. Option B being melodramatic. What is melodrama? Excessively dramatic or excessively emotional or excessively putting in too much seriousness to the problem. Is it like that? No, the author is not giving more seriousness than is required to the problem, or he's not being overly emotional. He's saying with the facts and figures that this is a very serious problem. So being melodramatic again is a wrong statement, so you can ignore it. Being ambivalent. What is ambivalence? Confusion or indecision. That is ambivalence. So is there any ambivalence or a confusion in the author? No, the author says that we have to do something seriously to reduce this problem because it is a question of our future. So he's not having any ambivalence. Again, wrong. Option D, emphasizing the need to fight for clean air. This is what the author says in this particular paragraph, where he says that there are three methods that we need to do some fundamental changes. Three approaches need to be done. One, government should make use of science. Second, they have to implement a carrot and stick policy. That means they have to give both incentives as well as penalties to reduce the problem. And third is the all machinery should be involved in reducing the problem instead of thinking that it is just a problem of the union government. So this is the three-pronged approach. So he is talking about the need to fight for clean air, and that is the right answer here. So this is a very clear answer. Option third question, based on the information in the passage, which of the following statements is correct? So you have to find the correct statement based on the whatever is given in the passage. So here you these kind of questions test your understanding of the entire passage. You will not get an answer by reading a particular area or section of the passage. You have to read the entire passage, understand it in its entirety, only then you will be able to find the answer. Option A, the problem of air pollution is limited to the major cities in India. Is it correct? Not correct. Why? Second para. The problem is very severe in Delhi, and Delhi is now considered to be the most polluted capital city. So Delhi may have fogged the deadlines, but the problem is far from unique to metropolises. Means the problem is not unique to metropolises or not limited to metropolitan cities. It is prevalent in lower tier cities and towns in India. That means this problem of air pollution is not just limited to Delhi or other metropolitan cities. It is also prevalent in many other smaller cities and towns in India. This is what the author is saying. So, is it a correct statement? The problem of air pollution is limited to the major cities. It is not a correct statement. Option B: the 50 most polluted cities in the world are in India. Again, wrong. Why it is wrong? So the passage is saying that Begusarai is not an outlier. So we are talking about Begusarai because Begusarai is the most polluted city in the world as per this survey. And Begusarai is partly industrialized, etc. And Begusarai is not an outlier. Means Begusarai is not just not an exception. It is not an extreme case, but there are many other cities in India which are having this problem, and that is why out of the 50 most polluted cities, 42 are in India. This is the meaning. Bulletpur in Punjab and Sivan in Bihar are among the 42 Indian cities and towns that are among the 50 most polluted globally. Or we can say among the 50 most polluted cities in the world, 42 cities are in India. This is the meaning of this statement. So will this statement be correct? The 50 most polluted cities in the world are in India. It is wrong. Out of the 50 most polluted cities, 42 are in India. That is the correct statement. Option C, Delhi's air quality is the poorest in the entire world. Is this a correct statement? Again, wrong. Delhi's air, it is the Begusarai's air quality is the poorest in the world because he says that Begusarai in Bihar is the world's most polluted city. What about Delhi? Delhi is the most polluted capital city. So New Delhi is the most polluted capital city, whereas Begusarai is the most polluted city in the world. So this statement says that Delhi's air quality is the poorest in the entire world is wrong. It is should be Begusarai. So again, wrong answer. Option D, industrialization makes Begusarai the most polluted city in the world. What about this statement? You have to again go to the portion where Begusarai's problem is talked about. It says that Begusarai is the world's most polluted city. It is partly industrialized and it has an oil refinery among main other industries, but primarily an agricultural city. So it says that Begusarai is primarily an agricultural city, but it is now becoming industrialized, and there are many industries, including an oil refinery. So these are the things given. So industrialization is the reason for Begusarai becoming the most polluted city in the world is not clearly mentioned, but it is hinted here. It says that it is partly industrialized and oil refinery is there, but is a primarily agrarian city. So this is only hinted. It is not clearly stated, but this part is very much correct. Begusarai is the most polluted city in the world. That is correct. And industrialization is the reason for Begusarai becoming the most polluted city is not clearly stated. It says that Begusarai is partly industrialized and it could be the reason. So it is left to the reader's discretion to understand or analyze whether Begusarai's problem is because of industrialization or not. So this is, you can say that it is only implied. It is not stated clearly, but implied. So, but what about the other three statements? They are clearly wrong because the passage very clearly says certain things which are contrary to what is stated in these options. So these are clearly wrong, whereas this one is correct in the sense that this part is definitely correct. This part is implied. So it is probably correct. It's industrialization makes Begusarai the most polluted cities. Probably correct. So as a result of which, you can say that this is the best answer you can get. So here you may have certain confusions, but when you have four options out of which three are very clearly wrong and one is uh, partially correct or one is likely to be correct, you have to select that option as the correct answer. Don't always look for clear correct answers. In many reading comprehension questions, there may not be very clear correct answers. It will only be implied. So this is why your critical reasoning is very important to analyze and understand and then come with that answer. So that is how you arrive at answers in critical reasoning. So option D is the clear answer here because all the other three options are clearly wrong. So that is why we will select D as the correct answer. Then question number 4, the first sentence in the passage mentioned that India was in the news as again as a world leader. What is the writer's intention? So why the writer is saying that India has become or India is in the news again? So you have to read the first paragraph. India is in the news again as a world leader, but this time for the wrong reason. So what is the implication? When India is in the news as a world leader, something that we have to cheer or something that we should be happy about. But in this case, we should not be happy because it is for the wrong reasons that India is in the news again as a world leader. So this is not something to be happy about. And then he describes why you should not be happy about it because it is for the wrong reasons. Becoming the world's most polluted capital is not a very good thing or not a thing that we should be glad about. So that is why he says that it is for the wrong reason. So what is the author's intention? Is he very glad about it? No, he is critical or he is very much sad that India is the news again. So is it to create confusion? Definitely not. There is no confusion here. To be critical, yes, he is critical about the fact that India is in the news again because of wrong reasons. So he's not very happy. He's critical about it because being the most polluted cities, a thing that we should not be uh, endowed with. So that is why this was a probable answer. To be negative means what? To oppose something. So he is not really happy with this. To be negative means to oppose this particular thing. Yes, he might be against this. So negative is also a probable answer. To be judgmental. What is judgment? Judgments means an opinion that is not based on facts or that is not clearly based on facts is called a judgment. So the judgment is an opinion. So here the author is making an opinion. He is making an opinion, but is that opinion not based on facts? No, the opinion is very much based on facts. He is making an opinion that the India is in the news as a world leader for the wrong reasons. That is his opinion, but that opinion is based on the facts which are given in the subsequent sentences. So this is not a judgment. So you need to understand the meaning of the word judgmental to be clear about whether this option is correct or wrong. So since this is an opinion that is clearly based on facts, it is not judgmental, it is reasonable. So this is why rational, it is a rational opinion, not a judgmental thing. So this is not wrong. So out of this critical and negative, which is the best answer? He is clearly critical about this fact that India is in the news for the wrong reasons, or he says that India should not have been in the news as a world leader for this particular reason. So critical is the better answer. Negative means you are opposing something. So yes, he is against it, but he is actually criticizing this fact. So instead of out of these two, instead of being negative, you can say he is critical. Critical means he is criticizing, or he is not really happy that India is in the news because of the pollution that is existing in India. So to be critical is a better answer than to be negative. So you have to weigh these two options and find the best answer. So that is why we have selected critical as an option. To be negative means to be anti something, or to be always having some kind of opposition to ideas, is called a negative personality. So sometimes it may not be rational, or sometimes it may not be based on sound logic. So that is why negative is not the proper answer here. Critical means when you are against something because of sound logic or rational things, it is called critical. So this is why critical is a better answer than negative. So option B is the clear answer. Now, question number 5. Which of the following point is not made by the author? So here you have to find a statement that is not given in the passage, or something that is against the ideas given in the passage. Option A, governments at all levels should be involved in tackling the problem of air pollution. Where is it stated? See the last para. It says that governments should turn to science to understand and monitor the problem. Then they have to have inculcate certain changes in the behavior of the people, and they have to implement some incentives and penalties to fight the problem of pollution. And third one is it should be seen as a common goal. Means don't think of this particular fight as a responsibility of only the union government or the courts. It is a fight that state governments as well as municipalities should be part of. So that means not only the central government or the judiciary, it is a problem that the state governments as well as the municipalities should take up, because it is a battle for our future. So all the important responsible organizations should be involved in this particular task. This is the meaning. So governments at all levels should be involved in tackling the problem. This is a true statement. Since this is a new true statement, this is not our answer, because we need something that is not a true statement. Option B, clean air is the right of every consumer. What is stated in the passage? Stated in the passage states that clean air is a right. It is a right, means it is a fundamental right. Just as the right to life is available to the citizens, right to clean air is also a part of the fundamental right. Corollary means something that is an addition or a part of the fundamental right. So right to clean air is a part of the fundamental right to life, that is stated in the passage. So here it is a clean air is a right of every consumer. Fundamental right is available to every citizen, right? So consumer is also a citizen. So this, let us keep this as as a confusing answer or a doubtful answer, because our the author is only talking about the citizens. Whether he is a consumer is implied or not, we don't know. So this is a probable answer. Keep it in your mind. If you don't get any other answers, maybe we'll come back here. Option C, scientific methods are needed to address the problem of air pollution. This is very clearly stated by the author in the last paragraph, that the governments have to turn to science. So since this is clearly stated, this is not our answer. Option D, polluting behavior should be punished. This again is stated in the last paragraph. There has to be behavioral changes, and use a combination of incentives and penalties. What is the meaning? anybody who is trying or attempting to reduce pollution, they should be given incentives or they should be given appreciations. And anybody who is polluting, they should be penalized. So people who are polluting should be penalized. Penalty should be given. That is the meaning. So this again, polluting behavior should be punished. This is a true statement. Since it's a true statement, this is not our answer. So we can clearly exclude all the other things. Option B is the only doubtful case here because the passage, the author in the passage, the author is saying cleaner is the right of every citizen. Or when you say fundamental right means the rights available to citizens of a country is a fundamental right. So since it is, even though it is, the word citizen is not defined or given in the passage, the moment you see the expression fundamental right means it is something that is available to the citizens. So here the option is talking about consumer. So consumer is also a citizen, but the our question is which is point is not made by the writer. So the writer is not specifically talking about consumers. Consumer means anybody who is a buyer of a goods or a service is called a consumer. So here we are not talking about consumers, we are talking about people in general. So that is why we can say that this point is not made by the author. The author is not referring to consumers at all when he talks about cleaner being a fundamental right. So this can be the correct answer. Since all the other options can be clearly excluded, this becomes the correct answer. This again is a confusing question. So you have to apply your reasoning skills to find the answer. Question number 6, the phrase that kicks in, para 3 means what is kicking in? If you know the meaning of the word kick in, your answer becomes very simple. But even if you don't know, if you go to the paragraph and try to find the answer from the context, or where it is given the presence of a graded response action plan that kicks in when the air quality turns bad and uh, becomes more stringent as the air quality worsens. So here there is a GRIP program or a graded response action plan put in place by the government that kicks in mean that starts when the air quality turns bad. So when the air quality becomes bad, this plan automatically starts functioning and it becomes more severe as the air quality becomes worse or becomes more bad. This is the meaning. So kicks in from this, you can understand that something that starts or something that starts to operate. That is the meaning of the word kicking in. So once you understand that, the answer becomes very simple. Starts to operate means comes into force. This is the only answer. Gets rejected, gains importance, causes violence. Wrong. Comes into force is the something that automatically starts it getting implemented is called kicking in. So option B is the clear answer. So that was the first para. Now second passage is talking about the what it is talking about the anxiety or the excessive anxiety problem or anxiety disorder. So it is basically saying that anxiety is a normal behavioral pattern. It is a survival. It is part of our survival instinct because it when we are anxious, our all our senses become very keen, and the body is prepared either to fight or to flight. So anxiety kicks in when there is a adverse situation. At that time our body becomes very all our senses become very keen and alert, either to fight or to flee. That means the survival mechanism. But when the anxiety is because of a perceived danger or something that is not real, or you are persistently or continuously thinking of something that is exaggerated. Some danger is there, but you have an exaggerated understanding of that particular danger, and this exaggerated understanding is persistently there, or all the time you are having this kind of exaggerated sense of danger, which is not the real thing, or which is far from the real thing, then it becomes an anxiety disorder. And there are many reasons for that. There are physical and psychological reasons there, and the environmental factors are also there. And this then it talks about the treatments available for anxiety. That is, psychotherapy treatment is there. So psychotherapy has two different branches: exposure therapy as well as group cognitive therapy. And then there is the medication, but medication is only used as a to keep it under control. It cannot cure anxiety disorder. Then there is exercise is also going to help in anxiety problem. And it is finally the passage is concluding with normal anxiety is something that is beneficial, whereas when it becomes excessive, it is a problem. So it has to be treated. This is the passage. Now we will go to the questions. Question number 7: which of the following best indicates the relationship between anxiety and survival? So, what is the relationship between anxiety and survival? So, you can see in the first and second paras, we can understand what is the relationship between anxiety and survival, because anxiety is a survival tool. It release bodies be react with a big release of adrenaline and an increase in blood flow and getting us ready to run as fast or fight as fiercely as we might. But only when and this in the modern world, how it is helping us when we have deadlines and if someone is driving too fast. So it is not just in the ancient times when we have to survive in the wild, this anxiety was useful to us for our survival. You know, even in the modern world, when we have deadlines to meet in our offices or in our education institutions, or if when we walk on the road and someone is driving too fast while we crossing the road, this anxiety is helping us to survive by jumping out of the way quickly. So there is nothing wrong in anxiety, only when it is the danger is imagined rather than there, or something that is exaggerated, and this danger is out of proportion to the real danger and it is persistent, then it becomes an anxiety disorder. So normally anxiety is not a problem. It is something that helps us to survive the everyday problems that we face. But only when it becomes persistent, continuous, disabling, and the perception of the danger is out of proportion to the real danger, then it becomes a problem. This is stated here. So we'll see the options. Despite being inherited from our evolutionary past, anxiety frequently undermines survival. Means anxiety is weakening our survival. It is wrong. Anxiety is helping us for our survival. So this is a wrong thing, and it is as it is not an integral part of human nature. Again, wrong. It is an integral part of human nature, very clearly given in para 1. So this statement is wrong. Option B: anxiety is part of our evolutionary past, yet has limited relevance now. Is it correct? It is a part of our evolutionary past, true. It has relevance even now. That is why the second paragraph says that when you have deadlines to meet, or when you are crossing the road and somebody is driving a vehicle too fast, you jump out of the way. That is again survival. So it still has relevance in the modern world. So it has limited relevance now is wrong, and it does not significantly impact our chances of survival. Oh, it is again significantly impacting our chances of survival, as we have seen in the second para. So this is again wrong. Option C: anxiety is ingrained within us. Again, correct. Due to our evolutionary heritage, correct. And generally serves to promote survival. Again, correct. So anxiety is ingrained within us means it is part of our personality or character or individuality, because it is from our evolution. All human beings have anxiety because it is a part of a survival tool. So due to our evolutionary heritage, correct, and generally supposed to promote survival. True statement. So keep it as a probable answer. Option D: anxiety, an intrinsic part of human nature, often disrupts our ability to thrive. Means it is disrupting, means it is uh, impeding or obstructing our ability to thrive, acting as an impediment. Impediments mean acting as a blockage to survival. It is wrong. It is not disrupting our ability, it is supporting our ability by acting as a support to our survival. Impediment is object, or something that is blocking, or an objection. No, it is actually a supporting our survival. So this is again a wrong answer. So the very clear answer is option C. Now, question number 8. In what way might the relationship between exercise and physical activity and anxiety relief suggest a potential solution for individuals with anxiety disorder? So, it is given in the uh, 5th para. Anxiety exercise can help people with anxiety problem. Why? When when anxiety is there, what happens? all the nerve connections feel the impact of anxiety. So when you do exercise, what happens? The exercise produces endorphins, which are chemicals in the brain that act as natural painkillers. So because of the production of endorphins as a result of exercises, the our whatever problems our nerves are having because of excessive anxiety, that can be reduced. And second thing is, when we are physically tired, it will help people to sleep faster, because people who have anxiety disorders have problems in getting sleep. So when you exercise, you will feel tired and you are able to sleep well. This is the way by which anxiety exercise is helping people to survive or fight the problem of anxiety. So we'll see the answers. Option A, physical activity serves as a temporary distraction from anxiety. Is it a temporary distraction? Probably. It is not given here in the passage that it is a temporary distraction. So this is a confusing statement, and we'll examine the other things. Its long-term effects remain unclear. No, the passage is very clearly saying that exercise is beneficial to anxiety. Whether it is in the long term or short term, it is not mentioned. So it says that exercise is beneficial to fighting the problem of anxiety disorder. Whether it is long term or short term, it is not given, but it is definitely the option says that it long term effect is unclear. This is not at all stated or implied in the passage. When something is not stated or implied, you should not take it as a correct answer. So physical activity serves as a temporary distraction. That also is not given. Physical activity is able to distract us from our anxiety. That is given. Whether the distraction is temporary or not is not given. This part is wrong. And long-term effect remaining unclear. That also is wrong. Option B, exercise-induced endorphins facilitate cognitive behavioral therapies effectiveness. See, whether there is any relationship between cognitive behavioral therapy and exercise is not given in the passage. Cognitive behavioral therapy is given when we talk about the psychotherapy treatment. So there are two types of psychotherapy treatment. One is exposure therapy and another one is cognitive behavioral therapy. It has got nothing to do with exercise. This option is connecting exercise with cognitive behavioral therapy. This is wrong. This is not at all stated in the passage. Option C, exercise may directly target the amygdala to reduce anxiety symptoms. This again is not stated. The passage says that anxiety problem is caused by uh, amygdala, or this amygdala has some role to play in the anxiety disorder. But whether exercises are targeting this amygdala, this is not given in the passage. So you cannot say that exercise is targeting the amygdala to reduce anxiety. So it's not stated or implied in the passage, so wrong. Option D, physical activity could enhance sleep quality, indirectly lessening anxiety. It's very clearly stated. So this is the correct answer. So even without checking the other options, you might have thought that this is the correct answer. But this is the process you have to follow in all the reading comprehension and critical reasoning questions. You have to analyze each option carefully and either rule it out or take it as a probable answer. Then if you have one or two probable answer, then weigh the options and select the best answer. This is the process you have to follow in a systematic way so that your answers will never be wrong. Number 9, in the passage, the information about anxiety treatment is organized in which are the following ways. So, what is stated in the passage? Anxiety treatment can be done using psychotherapy, and there are two methods of psychotherapy. One is exposure, and the other one is cognitive therapy. Then it talks about medication. Medication cannot cure anxiety; it can only control the symptoms of anxiety or keep the anxiety problem under control while the person is undergoing the psychotherapy treatment. This is the treatment talked about. Then it also talks about the exercise part. So options by comparing different types of anxiety disorders. No, the passage is not at all talking about different types of anxiety disorders. It is only talking about the anxiety disorder as a problem. What are the different classifications? It is not stating, so this is wrong. Option B, by presenting contrasting viewpoints on the subject. Are there any contrasting viewpoints? Contrasting means opposing viewpoints or viewpoints which are different from one another. No, there are no such contrasting viewpoints. So wrong. Option C, by outlining the historical development of anxiety treatments. Historical development of anxiety treatments means what were the treatments that were implemented or that were used previously in the past for treating anxiety. What are the treatments at present? It was not stated in the passage. The passage is not saying anything about the historical development of anxiety treatments. It is not talking only about the present treatments available for anxiety disorder. Option D, by discussing various treatment options and their effectiveness. This is correct because it talks about the different types of treatment options and how effective they are. This is and it says that the psychotherapy is effective. Medicines are only able to control. Exercise is also effective. So this is a very good answer. Option D. Question number 10. Based on the information in the passage, which is the following statement best describes the potential danger associated with anxiety disorder. What is the danger associated with anxiety disorder? You have to find out. It is always indicative of an imagined danger rather than a real danger. Means anxiety disorder is indicating an imagined danger rather than a real danger. Is it correct? Is it always about an imagined danger? No, it is not about an imagined danger. It is your perception of danger. You have a exaggerated, the danger may be real, but you have an exaggerated perception of that danger. That too consistently, always, whenever some kind of danger or problem is there before you, you have a very exaggerated understanding of that problem, and this is continuing in uh, every day. Means on all days. Today you are facing a problem, you have a very exaggerated understanding of that problem, or you think that this problem is a huge problem, while in reality it was not such a huge problem, and you get tense thinking about the enormity of the problem. That is anxiety disorder. So it is not always about an imagined danger. It may be about the real danger also, but the understanding of the depth of the danger or the scale of the danger, that is the problem. So this you have to very clearly analyze and rule out this option. Option B, it is characterized by a persistent and exaggerated perception of danger. This is the correct. See, perception of danger means your understanding about the danger. When you have an exaggerated perception of the danger, and this is a persistent one, means whenever you face any kind of danger or problem, you have an exaggerated understanding of that problem. That is called anxiety disorder. So this is a clear answer. So keep it as a probable one. Option C, it occurs when the perceived danger is proportionate to the danger. The real danger, wrong. The passage very clearly says that when the perceived danger is out of proportion to the real danger. So it is not proportionate, it is out of proportion to the real danger. So this option is also wrong. Option D, it primarily arises from genetic factors rather than environmental influences. So it says that mainly genetic factors are responsible for anxiety disorder than environmental influences. Is it stated in the passage? Scientists are looking at what roles genes play in the development of this disorder and also investigating the effects of environmental factors. So scientists are trying to understand what is the role of genetic in influence in anxiety disorders and what is the role of environmental factors. So whether something has got a more important role or not, scientists have not yet made any such conclusions. They are just studying the role of different factors, including genetic and environmental factors. Whereas the option says that it is primarily because of genetic factors. This is not stated in the passage. The passage only says that the scientists are studying which are the factors that are responsible for the anxiety disorder. So this is wrong. So very clearly, you can say that option B is the correct answer. All right. Question number 11. The passage is chiefly concerned with what is the main idea or the what is the general idea in the passage. The passage is talking about the problem of anxiety disorder and what are the reasons for this anxiety disorder, how it can be treated, and why this should be treated. This is the main idea in the passage. So we have to find an option that is talking about these things. Option A, investigating the psychological benefits of exercise on anxiety, physiological benefits of exercise on anxiety management. Is this a chief idea? So it is only a supplementary idea. It is not the main idea. The benefits of exercise is given only in the fourth or fifth paragraph. It is only a supplementary idea. It is not the main idea, or the passage is not mainly concerned with the talking about the benefits of exercise. Option B, evaluating the effectiveness of psychotherapy and medication in treating anxiety. Again, it is a supplementary idea. It is talking only about one aspect of anxiety disorder treatment. Option C, understanding the complex interplay between genetic and environmental factors. This is not at all stated. Is there any interplay? Interplay means interaction between genetic and environmental factors in causing anxiety. This is not at all stated in the passage. Passage only says that genetic factors are influencing anxiety disorder, or genetic factors are a reason for anxiety disorders. Environmental factors are also a reason for anxiety disorders. Whether there is any interaction between these two factors, it is not at all stated in the passage, so this is completely wrong. Option D, exploring the multifaceted nature of anxiety and its adaptive function. What is multifaceted? Different aspects of anxiety. That is why it says that anxiety, normal anxiety, is a survival tool, but only when it is an enhanced level of anxiety, it becomes a disorder. That is multifaceted nature of anxiety, and its adaptive functions means, what is an adaptive function? How people are able to adapt it, or how it is able to help us in our survival. That is adaptive function. So it says that normal anxiety is helping us in our survival, whereas excessive anxiety is actually impeding our survival instinct. So this is a good answer. It is talking about the passage is mainly talking about the dynamism, or the nature of anxiety, and what are the different functions of anxiety, and how it can be treated. So this is a better answer. All the other options are talking only about supplementary ideas, where this is talking about a general idea. So since the passage is talking about the chief concern, this is the answer. All right, question number 12. Which is the following statement is correct based on the passage? So option A, regular exercise does little to alleviate anxiety. What is little? Little means nil. Little means nil, or nothing. So regular exercise does nothing to alleviate. Alleviate means drive away or to reduce anxiety systems. So it says that regular exercise is not effective in reducing anxiety systems and improving sleep quality. Wrong. Be clearly wrong. Option B, exposure therapy encourages individuals to face their feared situations gradually. Correct. It is stated in the third para, or fourth para rather, that in an exposure therapy, what is happening? People who are afraid of something, they are gradually exposed to that situation, so that you become confident in facing that situation. That is exposure therapy. So this is a good statement. Exposure therapy encourages individuals to face the situations, feared situations gradually. Probable answer, keep in your mind. Cognitive behavior therapy is the most preferred treatment for anxiety disorder. This is not at all stated. The passage is only talking about two different types of psychotherapy treatment. One is exposure therapy, another one is group cognitive behavior therapy. Whether the one is better than the other, or one is not good or not better than the other, it is not given in the passage. So this option is comparing cognitive behavior therapy between other therapy. That is not at all stated in the passage. It's only talking about two different forms of treatment, and which is more preferred, which is least preferred, that is not at all stated. So this is wrong. Option B, medication is the first line therapy and primary cure. What is stated in the passage is that medication will not cure anxiety disorder. It can only help to keep it under control while the person receives psychotherapy. So the passage is saying that the medicines are not going to cure the problem. It will only help in keeping the problem under control while you are receiving psychotherapy treatment. That is that. So here it says that the first level of treatment, and it is the primary cure, means it is the first cure available for anxiety disorders. Wrong. So very clearly option B becomes the correct. So that ends the uh, reading comprehension part. There are 12 questions. So ideally, you should be able to complete these 12 questions in around 20 minutes. I have given 30 minutes total time for the entire exercise, out of which 12 questions are reading comprehension based. So you should be able to complete these 12 questions in reading the passage and completing the question should be done in 20 minutes. And the remaining 10 minutes, you should go for the grammar questions, which are given after that. So we'll come to the grammar questions. Most appropriate word or phrase from the options given below. So you have to fill up the blanks with the most appropriate word or phrase. My supervisor seems to be in a bad mood because he dash when I asked if I could leave an hour early. So how the person or the speaker thought that the supervisor is in a bad mood. The speaker approached the his boss to for permission to leave an early. So what might have happened? This boss might have scolded him really hard. So that is why he concluded that he is in a bad mood. So you have to find an expression that gives you the meaning to scold someone really hard or to fire someone. That is the that expression. So which expression is that? Biting your head off, bite my head off, or chew my head off. That is the it can also instead of biting your head off, it can say chewing your head off. So this both mean the same thing, means lambasting you or criticizing you or firing you loudly or harshly. That is called biting your head off. So option C is the answer. Question number 14. In a circus where performers share dressing rooms, training spaces, and work in a fast-paced and success of a show, dash fostering teamwork and collaboration. So performers are sharing dressing rooms, training spaces, and work in a fast-paced environment. In such a situation, the success of the circus performance depends on what? Fostering teamwork and collaboration. So success of a show depends on fostering teamwork and collaboration. So you have to find an expression that says success of a show hinges on, depends on, etc. So what is the comes along with comes down to? Comes down to is the proper expression. So when it comes success of a show comes down to fostering teamwork and collaboration. Comes down to means ultimately it boils down to, or it is you can reduce it to the simple principle of teamwork and collaboration. So when you are a lot of people are interacting with each other in closed spaces, and it is in a you have to work in a fast-paced environment, you need to have a lot of collaboration and understanding and teamwork. That is why the expression is comes down to fostering teamwork and collaboration. Then Anil could not go to his friend's party as he had fever and was, what is this? Under the weather. Under the weather means when you are ill, the expression is I'm feeling a bit under the weather means I'm feeling ill or I'm not feeling well. That is the meaning of the expression under the weather. So it is not beneath the weather or outside the weather, it is under the weather. And he could not go to his friend's party as he had fever and was under the weather. In his address to the candidates contesting the student election, council election, principal said, if you want others to take you seriously, then you must dash on issues like gender bias and inclusivity. So if you want people to take you seriously, you should what? Rule the rules. Means rule the rules means dominate. Completely dominate is ruling the rules. Not a correct answer here. Walk the talk. Walk the talk means you act according to your talk, or you have to follow up your talk with your actions. That is walking the talk. So this is a good option here. You must walk the talk on issues like gender bias and its inclusivity. Means you should not just talk about gender bias and inclusivity. You have to uh, to have some real actions that project that you are serious about issues like gender bias and inclusivity. So that is when people will take you seriously. Talking, anybody can talk about issues like this, but when you do something concrete or when you act on issues like this, then people will take you seriously. Walk the talk is the correct answer. What is read between the lines? To understand something that is not clearly written in the lines, to understand something that is implied, that is reading between the lines. This is not the proper answer. Go around the bend means to become crazy. To become mad is going around the bend. That is also not the correct answer here. 17, the students' picnic plans dash when it started raining heavily in the morning. So when it rained heavily, what the students will not be able to go to picnic. So their picnic plans got cancelled, or all their plans became marred or destroyed. So that is what you should understand. So it is the meaning or the expression that gives you the correct sense is fall through or fell through. Fell through means got cancelled or got destroyed, or all their plans went awry. That is the meaning of falling through. So the students' picnic plans fell through when it started raining heavily in the morning. All employees agreed that the new regulations had dash positive changes in the workplace. Or the new regulation or the new rules had dash positive changes. It introduced positive changes in the workplace. So all the agreed employees were unanimous in saying that the new rules had introduced certain positive change. What is the introduced meaning? Which word will give you that meaning? Brought about. Brought about means resulted in or introduced positive changes. So the new rules had resulted in positive changes means brought about positive changes in the workplace. Option D is the answer. Ella keeps interacting maneuver when he's playing with his friends, but he dash because she is his younger sister. So normally when somebody is interrupting you when you are playing with your friends, you won't like it, right? But in this case, Manohar is tolerating her because she is his younger sister. So since she is his younger sister, Manohar is tolerating the interruptions created by Sheila. That is the meaning. So which word will give the sense of to tolerate? Putting up with. Putting up with means to tolerate or to patiently indulge with another person's problem is putting up with. So here, Manohar is putting up with her because she is his younger sister. So puts up with her is the correct one. So in this another batch, the incorrect part of the sentence is underlined. So there you have to select the option which makes the sentence correct. So he is very careless and has loosed his keys all the time. What is loose? Loose, and what is loose? Lose. What is the main difference here? Loose means something that is not tight is called loose. Opposite of tight is loose. Loose means when you are not in possession of something is you lose. When you have something in your hand, but you find that you are not having that in your hand, then that is losing. LOSE. So here the person is losing his keys means this lose is the word, not the this one. So LOSI, he and has his keys all the time, and this is a something that is a regular occurrence. So since everything something that is regularly occurring, you should always state in the present tense. So loses his keys is the correct answer. So this anyway you can ignore because it is having LOSE. Was losing is means you are talking about the past continuous tense. But here he is very careless and is so it means it is something that is going on at present. So our past continuous tense will not be applicable here. As losses is grammatically incorrect. As lost is the correct one. So this also is wrong. So loses his keys is the indicating the present tense. He is very careless and loses his keys at the time. Option C is the answer. 21. I had been having a headache, so I did not attend the meeting. I'm not going to attend the meeting because I have a headache. So this is something that is going. Attending the meeting is something that is to happen in the future, near future. And since I have some problem at present, I will not be attending the meeting. That is the meaning. So you have to talk about the this in the present tense. So I had been having is you are talking about the past. So this is wrong. So had been having is definitely wrong. Was having means you are talking again about the past continuous. It is talking you are talking about the past. Wrong. Have a headache. Yes. At present I have a headache as a because of which I am not going to attend the meeting. So this is the correct answer. Used to have a headache. Again, past not correct. Have headache. Have headache is wrong. Have a headache is the correct. So because of the article A. The absence of the article A, this is wrong. So I have a headache, so I will not attend the meeting. This is the correct statement. 22nd one, the negotiations are unsuccessful and the board's hopes to continuing talks on a future deal seems to be basically probable. See here, one thing is board's hopes. Board, if you put an apostrophe after S means there are two boards, more than one board involved. So when there are one board involved and the hopes means again plural. When you have plural hopes, seems is wrong. Seem should to be the correct word. And when your hopes to continuing talks is not correct, hopes to continue the talks or hopes of continuing talks. Either you can say hopes of continuing talks or you can say hopes to continue talks on a future deal. So here boards hopes to continue talks on a future deal seem. So since hopes is given in plural, you should always say seem because something is the subject is hopes. Hopes is plural. So subject verb agreement seem it should be in the plural form. Whereas in the question seems means when you have to use seems, this should be hope, should not be hopes. So that is why here this is correct. Board's hopes to continue talks on a future deal seem it to be increasingly probable. Probable answer. Boards again plural number of the now there are more than one board here. Or there is more than one board here. That is it. After the S there is an apostrophe. Hopes to continued uh, talks on a hopes to continued is wrong. Hopes of continued talks should have been the correct one. Means the talks, the boards were having some hopes of continuing the talks. That is, hopes of continued talks on a future deal is the correct one. Again, seems is wrong here. See, when you are having hopes, you should have seem. That is why this is wrong. Then boards again, the apostrophe is coming after us. Hopes on continuity talks is again wrong. Future deal seem. This part is correct, but on continued talks, off continued talks is the correct one. So that was wrong again. Then board is here, singular board. Hopes to continuing talks. To continuing is wrong. So because of it, seems is wrong. So this is also wrong, right? So boards, singular boards, hopes, plural hopes to continue talks on a future deal seems. This is the correct. And the third one, in my opinion, the psychological thrillers of Alfred Hitchcock is a master of suspense and horror, have more lasting impact than any other filmmaker in history. So here, what you are doing, you are comparing the thrillers of Alfred Hitchcock with the thrillers of some other or other filmmakers in history. So psychological thrillers of Alfred Hitchcock have more lasting impact than those of any other filmmaker. Why? You are comparing the thrillers. So when you are comparing the thrillers of Alfred Hitchcock, you have to say then those of any other because here you cannot compare the thrillers with any other filmmaker. You compare Alfred Hitchcock with other filmmaker, or you compare the psychological thrillers with the psychological thrillers of other filmmakers. So you cannot compare apples to oranges. That is the standard thing in English language. So here, since the psychological thrillers is the subject here, you have to say than those of any other filmmaker in history. So this you can clearly ignore. Then have more lasting impact means they have more lasting impact than any other filmmaker in history. So we are talking about in the past and at present. Means the past also at present also, the impact of Alfred Hitchcock's thrillers are more than those of any other filmmakers. Whereas when you are having option is talking about are having more lasting impact than those of other filmmakers. Are having means it is talking about the present continuous tense. So here the historical aspect is not given. Even though this sentence is grammatically correct, the historical sense is not provided here, are having more lasting impact than those of other filmmakers. It means that at present they are having more lasting impact, whereas the statement implies that in the past also they had more lasting impact. So this is, even though it is grammatically correct, this is not a very good answer. Keep it in your mind. Has had a more lasting impact. This is talking only about the past. It is not talking about the present. Has had a more lasting impact means in the past it had a more lasting impact. So this is wrong because the passage or the statement is implying that in the past and at present they have a the thrillers of Alfred Hitchcock has more lasting impact than those of other filmmakers. So wrong, have had a more lasting impact. And one more problem is here. The psychological thrillers has had is wrong because it should be have had. Because has means when it is the subject is plural, you cannot have a singular form of the verb. It should be plural. So that is why one more reason for this to be wrong. Option C, have had a more lasting impact. Again, the same problem. It is only talking about the past, whereas we have something that is have had a more lasting impact is a good answer because have had is not just talking about the past, it is talking about the present also. So this you cannot say that this is wrong. I'm sorry here. So these are two correct answers. Option A says are having more lasting impact, and have had a more lasting impact means it is only talking about the. It is not just talking about the past. It is talking about have had. The verb form have had means not just in the past, at present also it is having a lasting impact. So out of options A and C, C is the better answer because option E is only talking about the present tense are having. So have had a more lasting impact is the better answer here. I'm sorry, first I put it wrong. So this option is wrong because of this has had. It should be have had. So that is why have had a more lasting impact. It is the better answer than option A. All right, question number 4. While the bustling city streets were filled with a cacophony of honking, what is cacophony? A mixture of noises is cacophony. Honking horns and chatter of pedestrians, the serene countryside, which where time seemed to move at a slow pace, provide a welcome retreat for there, those seeking seeking solace amidst the solace means peace. So people who are seeking peace amidst the chaos and cacophony of urban city life, they will find the countryside very beautiful and very peaceful because time is moving at a slower pace. This is the meaning here. So, people who find the noisy city life and the noisy and busy city life, they find the countryside very peaceful because life is at a slower pace here. This is the mean. Now, provide a welcome retreat for there is wrong. Should be those seeking solace. So it people who are seeking certain peace, they will find the countryside very welcoming. So those is the so that itself we can ignore this one, ignore this one. So then provide a welcome service. Here the verb is while the bustling citizens were filled with the cacophony. So this is talking about the past, it is talking about the present. So when you are having the past in the correct part of the sentence, the wrong part of the sentence should also be in the past tense. So instead of provide, you should have provided. So what is the answer here? Provided a welcome retreat for those citizens. This is the better answer. Here it is provides. It is again the present tense form. We are talking about plural, those people who are seeking. So provides will not be a correct answer. But another problem is since it is were the past tense, it should be in the past form. So that is why this form provided a welcome retreat for those seeking. While the bustling cities were filled with the cacophony, where the time seemed to move at a slower pace, provided a welcome retreat for those people who want to have a peaceful within the country. Option C is the correct answer. So that brings us to the end of this video. Hope you have found the explanations useful in your preparation. If you have liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe so that I get more reach. That will motivate me to come up with further exercises like this. Thank you. Bye bye.